It's the radio guy Mike Prince, and we have, back by popular demand, did such an exceptional job on his first time around with us here at the Mike Prince Show. That's none other Mr. Ray Katz. Ray, how you doing today, my friend?
I am doing tremendous, Mike. Thank you very much. Trying to process all the awful things that have gone on in our society over the past really 3 months, and just praying for a better 2020 for every single person in the United States.
Well, 2020 has definitely been one that we would like to forget. They say 2020 is perfect vision, but who saw this coming at the beginning of the new year?
100%. All we can do is appreciate every great moment we have and the terrific people that we come across in life, like yourself.
Well, thank you very much, sir. And with that being said, Ray, I don't want to fumble the ball, especially since you just labeled me with such gracious, kind words. Remind us of the title and the company affiliation so we can make sure that everything is done and said properly.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mike. My name's Ray Katz. I am Chief Operating Officer of Collegiate Sports Management Group and also an adjunct professor at Columbia University.
Yes, sir. Now, with that being said, when we last talked, we were going back and forth. It was just at the beginning of the basketball tournament. And of course, that was shut down with the virus. And then all the latest and the greatest that's been going on with the protests. And it seems like everything is going each direction, but it's still business being operated behind the scenes as far as collegiate sports management go.
Absolutely. In fact, we're busier than ever because um, with the prospect of reduced admission and reduced attendance at games, even to the extent they take place for football and then other sports, streaming and media become even more important than ever to engage fans and keep them connected. The older fans that may be less comfortable going into stadiums and arenas. So we've actually doubled down and doing incredible media deals with every level of college sports, ranging from junior colleges all the way up through Division III, Division II, and Division One.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people have been putting emphasis on the Power Fives and even the Group of Fives of that nature. But this is a prime time for some of the lower divisions to strike some more like regional streaming type deals, and the door is wide open. Would you agree?
I would totally agree on the streaming side, which by definition are global deals, because you have the ability to get some of this tremendous content everywhere in the world. But also from a sponsorship standpoint, I know when you look at some of the smaller Division One, the D2s and the D3s, I've been fortunate to go to a great number of college football games at every level. And I will tell you that I would go right back to Stony Brook, University of Delaware, the Citadel, and others, where the difference between how socially distant I was last season or the prior season versus what has to take place is much smaller. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to go there a lot faster than I'm going to go to the big house at Michigan or to MetLife Stadium in New York.
Yes, sir. Now, with this social distancing, that is probably going to be a new way of life as we once upon a time knew it. And you talked about the advantage that it's going to take with these social streaming and digital deals right now. What do you see as the fast track right now? And schools that were probably hesitant before, what schools or even conferences have said, hey, sign us up?
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime there are challenges from a revenue standpoint, conferences and schools need more help. And Collegiate Sports Management Group is essentially an outsourced properties group, NFL and MLB, NBA level expertise to all of our clients. So a client might not be able to afford myself or Michael Schreck, the CEO, or Neil Malvone, our EVP, or the rest of our tremendous staff, but they can afford a little piece of us. So we can at least give them counsel what some of the best practices are across the board, whether it's sponsorship, media, licensing, ticketing, or this incredibly exciting emerging area, names, image, and likeness called NIL.
Yes, sir. Now that has got to be the hot topic, especially for you guys in the work that you're doing right now. We once again, everything is always FBS Power Five, and then everybody else kind of fits in where they get in. What advantages or even challenges do you see about this NIL on the lower tiers?
I actually think it's a tremendous advantage on the lower tiers because athletes will be great media activation for school deals and create the kind of scale that even local and regional marketers deem necessary in order to make marketing investments. So,
Okay.
for example, the way we see these athletes, they're essentially networks. You
Gotcha.
think about Trevor Lawrence at Clemson is his own network. There are players at every school in every sport, different athletes that have great social media followings, either because of their fame in high school or because of side businesses they have, or for any number of other reasons. So we think it's actually tremendously exciting that athletes will have a way to capitalize, to build brands, to engage with businesses that in most cases, as the NCAA says, 99+% of college athletes will be going pro in something other than sports. This all serves as a great experience and great contacts for them.
I.e. equals a little bit more leverage and a little bit possible better windfall financially in their direction.
No question it's going to help. And with unemployment up and college less affordable than ever, that's a whole other subject. The college business model is going to have to change and pivot, or there are going to be some severe problems at schools that are not either upstate institutions or elite private institutions. That's a
Absolutely.
whole bigger subject.
Yes, sir. And as I said, there's not enough time in today's scheduled meeting to even touch on that, but it's going to be a vast train changing on the fly with how things are operating right now. We're speaking with Ray Katz from Collegiate Sports Management Group. I got it that time, Ray. I think I got it that time. So
You
when
did.
when we look and break down these things, you've had some work with the Mideastern Athletic Conference in times past with Dr. Thomas, and there's been
Yes.
another big blow to the MEAC brand with the latest announcement of FAMU now becoming part of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. From your group's perspective, what are the necessary, I guess, recovery calls that you see for the MEAC, and then what would be some of the new adventures on the SWAC side of things?
Well, I think the SWAC picked up one school. So this departure is very different than the departure of two other previous schools to the Big South, which, from an economic standpoint, I guess based on media deals and maybe geography a little bit, I can disagree with, but you could see the logic. I mean, in this case, I kind of feel that MEAC and the SWAC really need to work together. The viability of this overall incredibly socially, economically, and educationally important HBCU Division One ecosystem. I can assure you that Dr. Thomas is an incredibly brilliant individual, nothing that you don't know, and has a very, very strong staff. They run an amazing basketball tournament. They have a 50th anniversary, which is kicking off and being celebrated this year. And we believe very strongly that this is going to be the impetus to an even brighter future for the MEAC, as they have great media leverage, outstanding community engagement, sponsors like Town Bank that are doing a great job from activation, sponsors like Geico, and all of these make the next 50 years of the MEAC, along with some of the social change that needs to happen, even better half century.
Yes, sir. We're speaking with Ray Katz, and you just made the mention of social change. It's obvious that the giant elephant in the room is the latest protest that's been going on throughout the nation. How does your group take that and work that as an advantage, or is it something that you just kind of let play out and take care of itself?
Mike, we try to stay apolitical. And so I have to say that our perspective just doesn't change. HBCUs are incredibly important. We also work with the SIAC and its fantastic commissioner, Greg Moore. So we just stay the course in terms of being inclusive, in terms of being diverse. We just had this past Tuesday a sports summit session regarding women in college sports. That was the second one. The first one was names, image, and likeness. The third one coming up a week from Tuesday is going to be esports. And then 2 weeks from that date, we will have one on HBCUs. So we have a 10-part series. We are very much concerned with all of these issues, but we really just try to figure out how to stay apolitical, but socially conscious and socially inclusive and business-wise inclusive at the same time.
Absolutely. Now, when we speak of that, and we know we've been talking about the digital global reach, but I still think, and help me if I'm off base here, that there's still some opportunities for linear regional deals for some of these said brands and institutions.
Yeah, there's no question about that, and we feel we do a very strong job leveraging the schools that have outstanding media capabilities, whether it was Northeastern University, very much increasing at Delaware, building that out at Brook, leveraging what is in place at Lafayette College. So all those we try to leverage and build at the same time, but there's a lot more coming down the pike. You'll be reading about a couple of more major conference deals that we've done recently, and certainly have protected the local linear, because at the end of the day, regardless of what some people think, digital may be more engaging, but linear is still bringing significantly bigger audiences, all things being equal, even on a local basis.
Okay. And when we talk about it, a lot of people get caught up once again in the Power Five numbers, the millions and millions, and we all shoot for that. But what would you consider a strong linear local region viewership? Let's just say just an average rival game. What would be considered some strong numbers for that?
I mean, I'll give you an example of a number from a couple of years ago, University of Delaware. We were able to get a women's game on television, and it did a 0.3 rating in 20 million households, so that's 60,000 viewers. You'd be hard-pressed to find streaming of more than 60,000 viewers for anything outside the Power Five. So, so again, the numbers add up very quickly. Whether you're looking at, and again, you have to remember, Sportsnet New York's at about 12 million households. So if you do a 0.2 rating and you're Stony Brook University, you're getting 24,000 average households viewing, which means about 45,000 to 50,000 people watching it at any one point in time. So if the average person is watching half the game, you have 100,000 in quote-unquote unique reach, right? Unique viewers. That's a lot of unique viewers in a 3-hour period.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
Again, it's very important not to lose sight of how important all of that is. And again, keep in mind that ratings do not include, for the most part, out-of-home viewing, group viewing, and all the things that make sports so great to begin with.
Yes, sir. And the one that I'm a big component of is the on-demand, or I like to call it delayed viewership, because for whatever reason, people can't view the event live, and they always go back to the delayed opportunities, and we like to call it on-demand. And that message will still be there. I'm talking for those who take advantage of the branding opportunities of their partnerships with the broadcast. So this could be a win-win situation all the way around.
Well, there's no question on-demand viewing, not in real-time viewing. Some of the things that we're learning in streaming is creating programming with technology like KISWE Mobile, where in the off-season, let's say a school, again, like Stony Brook, has 3 incredible football and basketball games, the ability to replay those and have the coach speaking over those games or over segments of those games or a 60-minute version of those games, all of that repurposed programming celebrates the school, the university, the athletics department, et cetera. So we think this is incredibly important. You see it's helping Stony Brook's recruiting. It's communicating all the amazing things about the university, their STEM program, their medical system, their leadership, their different curricula. It's an exciting time because of the ability to produce games less expensively over time.
And you know the crazy part about it, Ray? It was there all the time. It was there all the time, and it takes something like, unfortunately, what we're experiencing right now, as far as the virus is concerned, to kind of revisit and tap into things instead of looking for stuff that was already there right in front of you.
100%. But I will say, Mike, that everything's changed. You don't have to roll in a satellite truck anymore. There's basically satellite trucks in a box, if you will. A number of companies have different products like that. LTN has dramatically improved IP transmission. We're partnered with them on a couple of exciting new ventures that you'll be reading about shortly. So the world's changed. When I was at the Football Network in Baton Rouge in 2002, 2003, it cost $40,000 at a minimum to do a decent job producing a football game. Now, with 15, 16 years of inflation later, we did a decent job last year for under $10,000, and arguably a better than decent job.
Wow. Could you see the price even going down further?
In the SIAC, they do the job even less expensively than that, but that's mostly for streaming. I could see this getting down into the $4,000 or $5,000 range for linear. I don't know how much lower it can go than that just because of human costs, but the tech costs are going down dramatically.
Wow.
And then you have this whole area of automated production with companies like Pixelot and Keymotion that staying on top of all of that. So when somebody hires Collegiate Sports Management Group, they're really getting not just the almost 6 years of expertise that we've built in our management team, but they're getting the 75 years of cumulative expertise that 3 senior execs and our next group of mid-level execs have, plus the unbelievable experience, perspective, and brilliance of Dr. Harvey Schiller, our chairman, who is arguably the greatest living sports executive of the past 50 years.
Wow, those some big shoes you just put him in.
And believe me, we challenge each other every day to keep those shoes filled.
Absolutely. And speaking of the challenge, where do you see the direction of your group heading, and what are some of the plans of getting that executed?
I think the two big areas that we're looking at are beyond the strong media and sponsorship practice that we have is really elevating what we do in licensing and then basically becoming an executive chef for what's the best NIL solution. We've had a number of Power Fives reach out to us even as a result of the programming that we put on 2.5 weeks ago. And it's an area where nobody has an NIL department right now. So every school's trying to figure that out, even the big ones that are well-resourced. That remains a very crucial area for us. And then that intertwines to some extent and then is independent of esports. Where in esports, we have privatized the rights to the ECAC, which is the de facto 4-year governing body for esports with over 60 members. We expect that to double over the next 12 to 18 months. And then the NJCAA, National Junior College Athletic Association, we're actually in a joint venture with to create NJCAAE, and again build that in the 2-year schools, which are increasingly important as less people want to leave home right now. They don't know if they want to leave home or sign on to a university and then sit in the same basement or same bedroom to get their education. Why not go to a local community college, save a bunch of money, and then figure out what your next move is when this whole COVID thing hopefully resolves itself?
Yes, sir, and that's definitely the signs of the times. Right now, people are going to make some emotional as well as financial adjustments, and it's time to look within, as we mentioned earlier, than going abroad. Ray, with all of these moving parts that you got going on, man, how do you keep it all together, man?
You know what we do, Mike? Mike, Shrek, Neil Malvone, and I, the 3 lead executives in the company, we're all professors, adjunct professors at different schools. I'm at Columbia, Bill's at Caldwell, Mike is at Manhattanville College. He's gotten incredible reviews in his first full year of teaching. We find the best students, we bring them in as interns, we empower them, we hire the best ones as full-time employees, and we build tremendous staff members like Dan Gerard, who heads up our media group, Tyler Chiaro, who heads up my ex-student at Columbia, heads up analytics, Patrick Young, involved in strategic planning, and others. Thomas O'Keefe on the sales side out of St. John's. So we really find amazing talent. We train them, we mentor them, we empower them, and they do an amazing job for us. And you know, our company doesn't run top down. Our company runs bottom up. We serve our employees and help them do the job they need to do and help them grow.
Yes, sir. And speaking of growth, the last time you and I spoke, you were saying you were wanting to get your footprint to expand a little bit toward the south. And has there been any progress since we last spoken?
Well, I'll give you an example. We did a Division 2 media deal with the Gulf South Conference. We're working on some great contactless solutions to make their stadium safer. Still definitely need to grow a bit more in the Southwest. We've done a really nice deal with the Pac West Conference and other Division 2 conference. And then the junior college ecosystem expands our geography fully national.
Yes, sir. With that NJCAA deal, that Region 14 with the Blinn Junior College, Trinity Junior College, and Tyler, there's a lot of good football in that area, and I'm pretty excited to see what develops with that as that project moves forward.
Absolutely, there's no question. One of the top players in the country last year signing on to Kansas as a transfer this year. So junior college level has had amazing athletes ranging, from Nick Van Exel in basketball and a whole bunch of others, and Bryce Harper in baseball, and just a never-ending group of football players. So yeah, it's an exciting level. The quality of play is very high. They have amazing leadership in Dr. Chris Parker and Brian Luckett helping him on the commercial side.
Yes, sir. Now, Ray, I don't know if you had touched over this, but do you guys touch on the high school aspect at all? And if so, what degree is that in?
That's a great question. We tend to stay out of high school in traditional sports. But we do have a high school strategy in esports, which again, I just can't divulge that at this point. But there will be great news in the next 4 to 6 weeks at most regarding what our high school strategy is, because in esports, we want to be a dominant player from high school right through alumni. It's the ability to compete remotely and the lack of regulation. This is an area where a high school can compete against a junior college, can compete against a college, can compete against a winner of an alumni tournament. So what we like about colleges is the central piece of this, the multi-generational loyalty that colleges engender.
Right. Yeah, there's something about it. They think that people say that high school are the best days of your life. I say they never went to college. That's all I can say. And it builds a loyalty and a fan base that goes from coast to coast. I definitely understand that
Absolutely.
factor. Now, a lot of people are hearing you talking about the esports. Can you explain to the listener exactly what do you mean when you say esports, Ray?
Esports is essentially what we all used to refer to as playing video games. And so whether it's Valorant or Fortnite or League of Legends or Madden or another EA game, esports provides the ability to have both in-person big tournaments, but also to compete online. And that's been made possible by dramatically increased bandwidth and transmission. So it creates amazing opportunities for brands that have spokespeople and want to co-promote an event with us to basically use that person as a media network.
Right.
So it's a great time. 180 schools now give esports scholarships. So The great thing is watching parents encourage their kids to play video games so they can get some scholarships in schools.
And you look, years ago they said, stop playing them video games. You're killing your brain cells.
Not anymore. Now it apparently increases acuity, reflexes, and the best thing about all of it is when you see some of these kids that are competing in esports championships on site, like we saw at Albany last year. These are kids that never got to even play travel sports. They never got the camaraderie of a team, and you see them all together, and maybe they weren't the most socially popular kids 10 years ago, but now they have an outlet to have their own popularity, their own camaraderie, and all those things that really help kids become great adults.
Absolutely. It's amazing how time brings about a change, Brother Ray. It's amazing on how that happens. And speaking of bringing about a change, things are constantly moving and constantly moving fast, I should add, from your perspective and the rest of the world. If you had a crystal ball right now, where do you
Yep.
project college athletics post COVID series or era?
I don't know how fast it's going to get back to normal once there's a vaccine. We definitely believe it's going to get back to normal, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to take time, and it might change a little bit. There might be less travel and more creative scheduling, but we're frankly very excited by the prospects of college athletics moving forward. The evolution, frequently, anytime an ecosystem is challenged, it just gets better.
Right. Yeah, well, I always refer to it as a germination period. For those who are not familiar with the plant life, when you plant the seed, it has to die before it lives again. And so
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
that's exactly what we're experiencing right now. And as this thing dies down and it resurges, it'll resurge with some creativity, some more resiliency, and an increased profitability, hopefully for others besides just Power Fives.
Absolutely.
Ray, as always, man, you're a walking encyclopedia as far as I'm concerned, full of knowledge and insight. And we want to give you some closing thoughts and comments and how people can get in contact with you and your group.
Again, our website is www.collegiatesmg.com, and I am R. Katz, RKATZ, at collegiatesmg.com.
Ray, thank you so much for joining us. You stay safe, my friend. Keep making the deals, and we keep in contact as this thing develops. And for one more thing, with the information of the series that you guys have been putting out, how could one get hear those or view those series that you offer?
Absolutely. We have the past ones on the website, and there is a place on the website to get yourself registered for all of these. It is also highly promoted on LinkedIn, but the best place to start is our website. Again, www.collegiatesmg.com. Reach out and contact us there, or just send me an email, and I will make sure your information gets to the right person.
Very well, my friend. He is Ray Katz. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us. As always, you guys stay blessed, stay in tune, stay encouraged. We'll see you on the other side.